Hello, and welcome. Welcome to this episode of Immigration Yarns. Give me 1 minute. I'm just trying to go live on YouTube. Seems to be taking a little while. I'm not sure what's going on, but yes. So today we are going to be talking about Federal Skilled Trades Program, right? So there's that program for skilled people. So let's say I didn't go to school. I just learned a trade. I'm a fashion designer. Whatever it is you can categorize as skills. We are going to be learning today how you can migrate to Canada. It's really simple. So, give me 1 second here. Let's get the files ready. So, when you're immigrating to Canada, actually, there are a bunch of routes or a bunch of methods, especially when we talk about express entry, right? And one of those methods, one of the ways that you can migrate to Canada is through the Federal Skilled Trades Program. And, just when you ask me, what does this mean? What does it look like? It means that you have a skill, something that doesn't require that you go to a university. It could be maybe a technical school or something. But yeah, that is the category of Federal Skilled Trades Program. Like any of the routes that we have in Canada, there are a number of requirements that you need to have before you can qualify to do that. And one of we talk about work experience, your certification, language ability, proof of fund. That one goes on everything, whether you're visiting, you're migrating, anything. Proof of fund is a given, right? Ability to know that you can take care of yourself. So here's the thing. Typically under express entry, there are 3 routes, and I'm going to say some things generally, and then we come into the narrowed pathway. So generally under express entry, there are 3 categories. The first category is the Federal Skilled, what's that name? Let me see. Sorry. So on the general route is the Federal Skilled Workers. Yes, thank you. Federal Skilled Workers Program. And then we have the Federal Skilled Trades Program. And then we have the Canadian Experience Class. So those are the 3 routes under express entry. But recently, and I'm streaming down to the trades now. So the trades is, I have a trade, and the category of people who fall under these trades are typically like butchers, bakers, my gadget seems to have developed a mind of its own. Technology seems to be failing me today. Give me a minute. Let me get that together. Okay, so typically people who fall under this category, like I was saying, you have the butchers, the truck drivers, the carpenters, the mechanics, and all of that. However, in the year 2020, I think it was the late 2023, Canada decided to streamline, to say, okay, who are the people that we really need? So yes, it's possible that when you're trying to create your profile in express entry, you fall under the trades category. But right now, when it comes to selection, when it comes to issuing out invitation to people who are in the pool, right? These trade programs has now been broken down further. So right now, Canada does category-based selection. So yes, all of us are in the pool, all of us fall under trades, but these 6 categories of people now get priority, or they get a special invitation they get a special selection. And these 6 categories are: number 1, French language proficiency; number 2, healthcare occupations; number 3 is the STEM occupations; number 4 is the trade, which is where I'm going; number 5 is transport occupation, and number 6 is agriculture and agri-food occupations. So if you fall into any of these 6 categories, chances are that you will get an invitation faster or easier than all the other people who fall into the trades category. Okay, so that being established now, I'm going to go into the trade occupation in and of itself. So for the purpose of this niche selection, the people who have been categorized under this trade selection are residential and commercial installers and servicers. Like if you service you do installation for residences or commercial houses. Commercial buildings. Then elevator constructors and mechanics. So just in case you know how to maintain an elevator or you do elevator maintenance or something, yes, you do qualify. Machine fitters, heating, refrigeration, and air conditioning mechanics. So yeah, that man who fixes the aircon, that man who understands heating or refrigerators, yes, they do qualify. Construction millwrights and industrial mechanics, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, except the people who do industrial and power system, no, like regular electricians, welders and related machine operators, contractors and supervisors, and other construction trades, installers, repairers, and servicers. So those are the category of people who have now been niched down into trade. So just in case you know anybody who fall into this category, or if you have that skill and you've been so focused on, oh, I went to school, I want to use my education to come into Canada, this might just give you a faster route to come into Canada as a trade, under the trade occupation, right? So again, like all what's it called? Like all categories, there are requirements that you need to have, you know, when you actually get into the pool and to be able to apply. And you know, let me give you an interesting fact, pardon me, before I go into that. So prior to COVID, Canada used to do 2 draws every year that is specifically for trades. Like, you know, the people in the pool who have 700 points, 900 points, 800 points, maybe they have provincial nomination or whatever. But there were 2 draws in a year, every year, that was dedicated to the trades program. In that pre-COVID season, anybody who fell under the trades program, as long as you were in the pool and you were registered under the trades program, will qualify if you have enough points. And it's so interesting that sometimes the points that you see, like minimum that you see, is maybe 300, maybe 298, maybe 312 or something. I mean, as compared to when the federal skilled worker program is done, and then you find that the minimum that was called for interview is maybe the minimum CRS score that got an ITA is maybe 500 or 460 or 480, something that high. When it comes to trade, you would realize that, and I tracked this, it typically used to be one early in the year, one late in the year. So sometimes September, October for the late in the year, and early in the year, usually sometimes maybe April or May. But since 2020, there was like a clamp on generally ITAs, but more for trade. And I guess they were trying to decide, oh, where do we want to go? How do we want to flip this? And then in 2023, it recently reopened. And they did do the general one. I think they did the general one. But by the end of 2023, they've come to the place of, oh, we need specific people, which is why they've now come into this category-based selection. And again, like I said, so under trades, I already mentioned out all of the occupations that qualify for it. So you will do well. I mean, if you if you fall into any of that category, or you know somebody who falls into that category who wants to come to Canada, then you can get into the pool, you can apply, and you can get that going, right? So moving forward, some of the criterias, and it's really easy. You would find the number one criteria to be eligible is that you have experience. And in this season, the experience is 6 months. Would you believe 6 months of full-time or an equal amount in part-time? So let's say, oh, I used to work in the last 3 years, that is. Like in the last 3 years, I've worked as a, let me say, as a plumber. Let me use plumbing. So let's say in the last 3 years, oh, I've worked as a plumber for 8 months, which means that I qualify. Or let's say that in the last 1 year, I worked part-time, but my total number of hours of part-time is equivalent to the 6 month full. So let's say the standard full-time is 40 hours per week. So let's say as a plumber, I used to work only 10 hours. That 10 hours has to accumulate to equal to 40 hours a week for 6 months for me to be able to qualify. But that does not mean that you're disqualified. So that is, and in a single occupation, not like, oh, I'm a plumber today, then tomorrow I'm a carpenter, the next tomorrow, oh, I worked on refrigeration. No. In a single occupation. So as a plumber, I have 6 months accumulated experience in the last 3 years. Not like I work as a plumber in 2020, and then I worked in 1999, and then, oh, I'm now back to it. Now I only have 2 months, but if I, no. It's okay. Let's say the last 3 years, we're in 2024 now, so count from 2021 to date, you have a total of 6 months full-time or an accumulated number of hours part-time. Then you qualify to apply. And it doesn't matter whether your experience is in Canada or abroad. Anywhere it is acceptable. In any country where you currently live, it is acceptable. And of course, you have to meet all the requirements of that round. Your proof of fund has to be together. Yes, you still have to write IELTS because they need to know that you can speak English, you can communicate, and you can understand when somebody is giving you instructions. So yes, you still need to go do your IELTS. Yes, you still need to do your West verification because education ECA, education certificate assessment, because even if all you need is an SSE or WAEC, they still need to know that it is equivalent of what it is in Canada. So yes, you still need to put all of that in place. You still need to meet all of that requirement. But what I wanted to bring to you is ability to niche down, ability, you know, that, oh, I'm a plumber, but yes, I can qualify and I get preference. So right now, if I go by statistics in 2023, there were 2 draws in 2023 targeted towards trade occupation, which means that in 2024, we are most likely going to get the 2 draws. So you want to be fast, be quick, put your go do all the things you need to do, write your IELTS if you need to, put your certificate in if you need to, but as soon as possible, get into the pool so that when this selection, this basic selection, this niched down selection is done, you actually qualify. And don't forget, I did mention 6 selections. I think next week I'm going to be talking about, I don't know which of them, but I will come back to talk about one of them. But yeah, so please, if you know somebody who needs to get into the pool, know somebody who qualifies for that, then please, especially the French speaking people, please get them into the pool. And then selection comes twice in a year. It doesn't mean that all the other draws will not be done the rest of the year. So if you qualify on another level, you might just get an ITA. But this just gives you, for somebody who is in the pool, I'm a plumber, I have 384 points. When the general draw is done, you might not qualify because some of those competitions is stiff. Sometimes the minimum CRS score is 515, right? So you don't qualify. But when they do the niche one, At 384, you just might qualify because the minimum score might be 312, which means that you qualify, or it might just be 298, which means you are able to get in through that method. That is the advantage of the trade occupations. Okay, that is where I pull the curtain for today. You know how we do it. If you have a question, send us a DM and we will sure respond to you. If you know somebody who needs to hear this, please share the video, and then I will see you same time, 12 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.